When we buy a new car, a good salesperson will make us feel valued and important. It is true that our leverage is small. We are just one buyer buying one car from a dealer, acting on behalf of one of the global car giants. If we choose to walk away because BMW won't provide the discount we demand, then Harold Kruger, BMW's CEO, won't lose too much sleep. However, the fact remains that despite our relative insignificance, dealers still need to shift cars, and there's always scope, within limits, to secure a better outcome. Recently, a friend asked me to help him negotiate the best deal on his brand new car. Initially, he didn't feel that he had much power, but after working through some things he could try, it became apparent that he had more power than he had realized. Here are my top 10 tips for negotiating your new car. First, decide exactly what you need beforehand. It's easy to know which car model you want to buy, but few buyers think beyond this to the exact specification, particular options, or the sort of finance arrangement required, relying instead on their engagement with the seller to finalize this. Here we risk putting ourselves in a decide-on-the-spot situation, finding that we've been talked into things in the heat of the moment. Information around specification, options and configurations are readily available online, so work up a wish list of those that you need to secure and perhaps some of the additional things that you want to get what you can. Number 2, do your homework. If the first thing you see is the dealer's list price, then it's easy to assume that that is what you have to work with, and any discounts offered will look attractive and tempting, which is a common dealer tactic. So, having decided exactly what you want in terms of make, model, specification and funding package, you can search the internet and find out which dealers you could buy the vehicle from. Then make some calls. Get some quotes. This will inform you what the general market price range is. But remember, most new car manufacturers do a great job of ensuring any prices quoted by any outlet are broadly comparable so as to avoid any undue competition between their dealerships. It could be easier for second-hand cars as there is no shortage of benchmark market price indicators available online. Number 3, list your negotiables. Your negotiables might include purchase price, options, finance, desired delivery date, or anything else that is important to you or important to the seller. For each, decide what your most desirable outcome, or MDO, is, but more importantly, also determine the least desirable outcome, or your LDO. In other words, the point that you will not go beyond. Number 4, have an alternative. There is always an alternative. We just need to use a bit of brain power to think of it. Perhaps it could be a different car from a different outlet, a different specification, or holding off until another day. Maybe it could just be walking away. Crucially, you must totally believe in your alternative if it is to impact how you negotiate. Number 5, build rapport. Buyers frequently make the mistake of trying to remain aloof and cold, which achieves little. Instead, smile, be warm and friendly, taking the time to be interested in them. You might be surprised how well it works. Number 6, hide telltale emotion. Most cars aren't sold at the dealer's desks when you sign. They're sold much earlier, on the test drive, when, without realizing it, you will inadvertently reveal to a good salesperson just how much you want the car. It is then all down to the price. Number 7, beware sneaky dealer tactics. What budget are you working to? This question is designed to get you to reveal your position early on. Swerve the question without giving away your budget and instead talk about the sort of car and specification that you have determined. Let the salesperson start discussions around price and what might be possible. For a deal today, we can do. Sounds like an imperative to close, but don't be hasty unless you are entirely happy with the deal. I will need to ask my boss is a very common tactic, sometimes used just to make you feel like you've won the deal of the century. If you don't get a favorable deal from the boss, then ask if you can speak to them directly. Don't be fooled. Number 8. Do the dance. Negotiation is a dance involving the different negotiables with each party dancing around their positions to eventually reach an outcome. It is like we are dividing up a pie between us, and with each benefit we secure, the seller gets less. So the seller will be focusing on maximizing their position, but whilst trying to make us feel like we've won a stunningly good deal from them, even when we've not. Number 9. Nearly there. Use hypothetical questions such as, if I agree to this, then could you agree to that? And so on. Such questions test the ground without actually making an agreement, so are easier to answer. And finally, number 10. Oh, and one last thing. Don't forget Columbo. At the end of each episode, just as the bad guys thought that they'd gotten away with it, he would say, oh, and there's just one more thing. With pen in hand, pause before signing the paperwork in front of you and say something like, there is just one more thing. You will throw in a full tank of gas, won't you? Chances are, the seller won't risk your putting down the pen over a tank of gas. Thank you for watching.